Hello. So this is going to be a little bit of a different video than I am used to doing. Today I am reacting to Charlie Kirk's video titled OF Models Get Massive Wakeup Call on the Whatever podcast. Now, I want to go about this by first saying I never think violence is the answer, and unless someone is attacking you, then absolutely. But what happened to him, I feel so much sadness for his family. I also, on the contrary to that, think that he lived and died with his truth, so that, I mean, that says what it says. And I send, love to his children. That being said, I started watching this video on YouTube and I felt like, I don't know if the women felt like they couldn't speak out, because obviously this is on the Whatever podcast, where I think a lot of times when these girls do start speaking, they just get shut down a lot. I will say I think Charlie was really respectful about listening to different topics and different points, but there was so much that I felt like was left on the table that was not said. So I wanted to watch this with you and then give you my thoughts on it as a creator myself on OF, and I have been for 6+ years now. It's been my full-time career, and I came from a background in corporate America. So let's start from the beginning.
If you had to choose between, if you could only pick one, marriage or career, which would you choose? If you had to choose. Can we do that?
Yeah, can I add one thing? So is it great, amazing career or beautiful, healthy family?
That's correct.
Okay, that was
if you had to choose. Now, you can have both in life, but if you could only pick one.
I would say marriage.
Marriage.
Yeah, the healthy family.
Family.
Marriage.
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 Marriage. And can I answer the other question?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, we'll let her speak in a second. I don't think they chose a good, diverse group here if every single person thinks the same. And I think that the Whatever podcast tends to do this. I don't want children. I don't want that. So I would choose career in this instance. So whatever he's about to say, it just doesn't make sense for everyone. And that's not to say that I don't think you can have a good, healthy family and do OF. I know plenty of mothers. A lot of my friends are mothers and have a great family, great, healthy children. But that being said, if it's something that you think will get in the way of your family and of your relationship, then, as I've said on many of my videos, I don't think OF is for everyone. So if that's something that you feel like would interrupt your family life, then maybe you second think this. But just because it's not for someone doesn't mean it's not for everyone. You can go about this in so many different ways. But just because family might be a priority doesn't mean you can't also have a great career in OF or in anything that you want to do. And vice versa. If you do feel like it will interrupt your family life and interrupt your relationship, then maybe it's not for you. And I've always preached that you should really look at your life and really decide before entering into this career if it is something that you want to do, because it does affect your life. And for some people, it may affect them in a negative way. Meanwhile, someone like me, it affected me in a really positive way. I feel like it's made me a better woman, which I'm sure that is going to be a topic of conversation that comes up. Like, does this make you a better woman, right? For me personally, it made me a better woman because I was absolutely miserable working in a corporate office, and it was making me a terrible human because I wasn't a good person to the people around me. I wasn't happy within myself. Now, being able to live my life for myself, I feel like I have become a better person. So I'm sure we'll get into that sort of thing, but let's start back up.
So I actually want to back him up on, you're not really in your prime once you turn 30. I know I got married at age 23. I mean, I was pretty, I was an athlete, married the wrong guy, became obese. Yeah, not now, obviously. But yeah, once I divorced him after I turned 30, the dating pool was vastly smaller.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for defending me. I could have used you a couple months ago.
Yeah,
so
I'm in Phoenix, so.
No, that's right. We should talk. No, and the last question that
Oh my God. Oh, first of all, this is one person's experience, and I think that's that's really the bigger picture of like any politics or any, disagreement when it comes to someone living their life. We all live different lives. Gaining weight after a breakup is very normal. That happens. It's okay. It's okay to lose weight. I know they're about to go into this about, dating, being younger or something, because that's kind of, I guess, the point that she's trying to make is that you should date younger because when you get older. But her point kind of contradicts itself, because she dated younger, chose the wrong person, and ended up having to get divorced later. So really, wouldn't it make sense to kind of wait until you're a little bit older to make informed decisions, which is something I also have brought up in my videos. I don't think you should be 18 and jump into this. If you want to, totally can. And I don't think that if you do that, your life's ruined or anything like that. I personally think that really taking your time making a decision like this is important. So there's that. And I think her point kind of contradicts itself. So we'll see how this goes.
Ask is, I want you to think about it. If every single one of you said marriage, are you making deliberate steps every day to get closer to that goal, or are you making steps to get closer to the career goal?
Starting with you, go ahead.
Because I believe that in a marriage, since you're coming together as a contractual agreement, I do want to provide to a certain extent, just in case my husband can't. I am going towards a career.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
At the moment.
No, and I only ask just, and again, we don't have to go on the horn. I think it's important, though, to answer your question. Far too often, we do not tell young ladies, if you have to prioritize one more than the other, would you rather have your tombstone say, CEO of a shoe company, or loving mother of 3 children and a wife?
Oh God, okay, I'm pausing right there. Again, this is like very much trying to say that a woman and her only worth, a woman's only worth is to be a mother and have children, but not everyone wants that. So it's just irrelevant for all of the people that don't want that. That being said, again, you can be both. Like, you can be an amazing mother, an amazing businesswoman, a CEO of a shoe company, as he said, an OF creator. You can be all of those things, and your tombstone can say all of those things. And at the end of the day, in 200 years, your tombstone, no one's going to be visiting it anymore. Let's just be real.
And if you would rather have loving mother and, of 3 children and a wife, then you should prioritize that more in your early 20s than your career or going to college. Because the tragedy is there are far more single early 30-something women in this country than married 30-something women in this country.
It's okay to be
the
single.
fertility rate's the lowest ever been, marriage rate's the lowest ever been, and it's because we tell young ladies you can wait forever to do this, and that's not the case for everybody. It's the case for some people,
for as long as
but
you
not
want.
the case for everybody. And I think
Or
it's
you
a
don't
tragedy.
even have to do it. Again, opinion-based.
I think while even you have a family, you should...
I'm trying here, man.
That's
even
so
when you
rude.
have a family, you should still have what happens when the kids are done and they graduate and they move
what
on
happens if
out
you
of
don't
the
want
nest?
kids?
What does a woman do then?
Grandkids.
Does woman just take
Well,
care of... Well, that's assuming
That's
that
a really
your
smart
children
question, though.
want to.
In fact, we are doing everything the opposite. We should say focus on family formation in your early 20s, then go to college in your late 30s.
Sure. But what
But
if you
who
marry
said-
the
College
wrong
will always
person?
be there.
Okay, pausing again. To my point, where the lady in the green shirt that's sitting right next to him said she got married in her early 20s. It didn't work out. Want to know why? Because her brain was not fully developed. She chose a partner, and she wasn't ready. She chose the wrong partner, as she said. So where are the stats on, if you get married younger, like your life is going to be better, you're going to be a better person? That people get divorced. And our parents' generation, my parents' generation, had the highest rate of divorce, and they all got married young. So I'm really confused where this idea that if you get married younger, like, you're going to be a better mother and you're going to be a better wife. I don't know why that is even a topic. I don't get it.
That's a very fair point. Love and life come with a huge risk.
Sure.
But the greater risk is dying alone.
But I feel like
It's
we also
so
have to
not true.
acknowledge the fact that one of the reasons why so many women don't want to
Pausing
part-
again. Dying alone is not a tragedy. You will most likely die alone, unless you are in a relationship and you die first. If not, you're gonna die alone. Like, even if you were in a relationship, if you're the second to die, you're dying alone. It's not a tragedy, it's reality.
Prioritize marriage right now, just straight out of you're 18, let's work on getting married and having kids and then think about college, is because college gives you so many opportunities that like you can focus and work on that directly. You come out of college, you have all these open doors. Whereas if you're 18 and you decide not to go to college because you want to prioritize a marriage, that can go wrong in so many other ways where you have no backup plan. Now you're 25 making minimum wage, so much farther behind towards a marriage than the woman who already graduated college, who has financial stability to be able to have kids and provide for her kids. So that's where like
That's a
there's
fair.
that.
That's a fair point.
Sure.
You could always go back to college. I'll reiterate that. However, that's not the problem in America. The problem right now, as it is, because the problem you're talking about was the problem in the 1960s, which is what Gloria Steinem said. If my husband left, I would have no way to feed myself. That was the core essence of her critique. Like, if my husband left, I would be having to go to get food stamps because I have no skills except being a stay-at-home mom, which, by the way, is like the most important thing ever, being a stay-at-home mom, but that's a separate issue. So, but right now in America, we've gone to the other extreme, which is you could delay it, you can delay it, you can have kids whenever you want, and we...
This honestly is sad because of what happened. I'm guessing he was the primary breadwinner in his family. And I hope his wife, has other means once, there's... Now that this happened. Like I said, I do not agree with what happened. I don't think that should ever happen over freedom of speech. Do I think that this person was spreading a lot of hate, racism, just like, all the worst things? Absolutely. I won't go far into that. I just think, I hope that his wife is going to be okay. He just said women should be stay-at-home wives. We
have 15 to 20 million single women in the country that have great careers.
And I feel like another reason why women right now, it's so hard for them to just prioritize having kids is because if you haven't gone to college, got the education, you don't have a husband who also is very financially stable, who's gonna provide for those kids? You know what I mean? We're in times where it's so iffy.
I don't sympathize with that argument as much. First of all, if you get married, by definition, your costs go down because you have two people then paying for rent, right, or for a mortgage. So you can actually consolidate income.
That's not always true.
Studies actually show men earn more.
I'm editing right now, and I also forgot to say one other point when it comes to this is that he's talking about, back in this golden era where everything was perfect. The cost of living is so much higher. You actually do need two incomes. To go against what he's saying, the cost of living doesn't just go down because people are married. It goes down because two people have incomes. But if you're saying this woman needs to not go to college, she's not going to have a good income.
As soon as they get married and have children, something primal kicks into us where you take a second job, you work extra hours.
True.
We figure it out. Men are
There's
actually
also LGBT
men are
people.
super simple, women are very complicated. Men, as long as we
doesn't
feel
really stand a
appreciated,
chance.
we feel noticed, and we feel special, and we see our role and our purpose, we will go to the ends of the earth
everyone
to
is
feed our
straight.
family. We'll figure it out. And I think we're
And not every
underselling
man is
American
just gonna
men.
step up
We say,
because
I wait until I'm 27 or
they got
28.
married.
That's fine, but look at the cost of that. And the cost is, right now, just as we're clear, we are on pace 10 years out from now, we're going to have 20 million 40-something women that never got married or have kids, but they have big apartments and they go on lots of vacations. And I
that's
also
okay.
think that's one of the reasons we're seeing
They should be
the
traveling.
suicide rate, the anxiety problems, the depression problems in our country. Do you have a thought? Or,
Yeah, I just feel like how many people that are like, or how many males that are 20 are like ready to get married and like ready to
great
have a
question.
family.
Great
So the question is, which one leads which? Men, yes, but in the 1950s or 1960s, the time we're supposed to hate, young ladies looked at it was my task to find a husband before the age of 25. And it was like the most important.
his point now is that women should be going and seeking men out, from 18 to 25. Men are not, and it's proven, their brains aren't as developed as women. Women's brains develop quicker, so we're just more mature at a certain age. So the men need to be way older for them to be on the same level, let's just say. And like I also pointed out a second ago, I think under 25, even for women, our brains aren't fully developed. So are we making full great choices during that time? No, that's really a time where we're learning how to be an adult. And I don't think you should be making major decisions during that time. Like I said, some people do. That's okay. I started OF around that time, 24, 25. And I think that's around the time when you start to, come into yourself. I don't think you should be looking for a husband before this age just because, I don't know what his point is, just because that makes women better? I'm confused.
That it was handcuffs and, being in prison. But if young ladies, first and foremost, no offense to my 2 Australian friends, got off of OnlyFans and stopped, posting naked pictures of themselves online and made themselves harder to get, men would step up to the plate. One of the reasons why men are grown infants is because women are so easy to get right now in America.
He said women are so easy to get right now. I completely disagree with this. I don't know where he thinks just because someone is on OnlyFans that they're easy to get. I think we are harder to get because we are so particular. Because we talk to a lot of amazing people, I will say, but we also talk to a lot of really terrible people all the time because we're talking to a lot of people, right? So we see the best and the worst of people. And I will say a lot of the people that at least come to my OF are absolutely amazing and I love all of them. But we do see a really dark side of people as well, and a lot of really hateful people, a lot of terrible people. So I would say we're very, very particular, very picky, and hard to get. Absolutely hard to get. You're not just gonna, especially for these girls that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, trust me, they are hard to get. They're not just gonna let anybody walk into their life. That's just not true. Another part of this is, I think someone in this career doesn't want judgmental, terrible people. We want quality people that care about others. We want people that are open-minded and are understanding that this is part of human nature. Adults things are part of human nature. I'm not going to say, words that could get me in trouble here, but adult things are part of human nature. It is totally normal, and being curious to want to see those things is totally normal. So I would want someone to recognize that and not be in the dark and think like, oh, this is totally crazy and makes you less of a person. Why? That's not a quality person if you're going to judge others. Maybe it's not something that you want. Sure, that's fine. But to judge others that want something, that do want to live their life the way they want to live it, and find people that are accepting of that, let them. I don't understand why you have to try and convince someone that they can't be themselves. If this is what makes me feel like me, and I find a partner to love me for how I am, and maybe they love those things about me, that I am more open like this, why is that a problem for you?
America. There's no desire, there's no hunt, there's no search. So you can be a grown infant and you can get sex. When it used to be in 1950s, women would be like, I'm not giving myself over to you. You're a man-child.
Shoot.
You don't even pay rent. You have nothing going for you. When now, unfortunately, you can pay $10 a month to go see a woman naked. No offense. Well, actually, kind of offensive, but
Aren't
that's
you
a
guys
separate issue.
$5?
But
Yeah, I think
Sorry.
but I'm saying that.
that's okay.
But to my
Oh
OnlyFans friends
God,
here,
that is so annoying. To be like, aren't you $5 is so demeaning. First of all, that $5 adds up so fast. How many people are paying that $5 plus buying the content on the inside? So don't diminish $5. How much is a book? A book is like $10 to $20. Those authors are making good money. Think about Harry Potter. The book, I'm sure when it came out, let's see how much Harry Potter was when it came out. How much was the Harry? $16, okay? J.K. Rowling is, let's see how much she's worth. And I don't agree with J.K. Rowling's views either, by the way, but she just is the first thing that came to mind. She's worth almost $1 billion. $945 million off a $16 book. Obviously, there's other things that came out of that $16 book, and same for OF Girls. A lot of other opportunities come from it. So to say and diminish someone for what they're charging for a product, which is a digital product, I think is insane. And there's a lot of forms of beautiful art when it comes to our bodies. So this is just a form of that, and it's a form of entertainment, and it's a form of expression. The way that these people handle their conversations is so disrespectful. I will say Charlie hasn't done, well, actually I'm not going to say that. Anyway, it's so disrespectful. And the argument isn't valid.
Do you think that, you both want to get married, right, and have children?
Yeah, of course.
Do you think that you are more desirable or less desirable to a future husband when you post suggestive or naked pictures online?
I think that we're entitled just as much as other people.
No, you're totally entitled. You have freedom to do it. I'm asking a different question. Are you more desirable or less desirable for a man?
It's always been the same for me. Like, I've always received love the same way.
Yeah,
And
there you go.
That's pretty. I don't really receive it. They all looked at me the same
There
from
you
the
go.
beginning.
How do you know how men look at you?
Because when I talk to them, I usually feel head over heels for them, and they all view me the same way. So whether or not I'm doing OnlyFans and selling my body, or not doing OnlyFans and selling my body, I'm still looked at the same way. They still think that of me.
Yeah, you don't know the male mind very well.
But they've already told me themselves.
And men are really good liars. Do you know that?
True.
Then how could you know they're telling the truth?
I don't know. I just
so
take their word
stupid.
for it.
You just said they're good liars.
But if she's able to date still, and like I said, there are so many OF creators that have families that start this with their husbands, and their husbands obviously accept it. And same with dating, there are plenty of people that accept, look at Ari Katsia. She just started dating that singer. Clearly he doesn't have any stigma against it, and he's a quality dude. He looks like a really nice guy. He's got his shit together. He makes his own money. And there are plenty of people that don't see this as a bad thing. So to say does that make you more or less of a quality person for dating? It depends on the person you're dating. And why would anyone who does this want to date someone that doesn't accept it? That wouldn't be a quality person for them.
Well, I don't know.
I'd say a lot of the guys that I know are more, I guess, the higher value type guys.
And there's
So
actually
ridiculous.
Don't take OnlyFans girls seriously.
No, yeah,
and
just-
they
Yeah,
will never
but
look at them for
some
marriage.
people,
Yeah.
some people actually do want
exactly
OnlyFans
right.
women and want to marry OnlyFans women and have kids.
Now they put up a little ridiculous thing. How she said, quality men don't want to date these type of, that is so ridiculous. There are so many quality people. I'm just gonna say people. I'm part of the LGBT community, so it's just so ridiculous. But so many people want to date, so many quality people want to date a quality woman, and just because you do OnlyFans does not make you not a quality woman. What is a quality woman? Someone that is loving, someone that is good to people, someone that wants to be a good person. That's what makes for a quality person. Someone that wants to be a good person, that wants to make themselves better every single day, that cares about people, that cares about animals. What makes a quality person. Not just stays at home and takes care of the kids. That doesn't always necessarily mean that that person's a quality person. Again, not a valid point.
With OnlyFans.
Erroneous!
But very few.
Erroneous!
Well, but hold
Very
on.
few.
Do you think those men are virtuous, high-quality men that won't cheat on you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
There are great people that wouldn't.
Okay.
It doesn't sound like it, but it's actually really normalized in my area. Like
No,
it
the
is-
fact that it's normalized is not the point. The point is it good? Is it right to post suggestive pictures of yourself online,
Is it
number one?
right?
And does it get closer to your goal of being married for the rest of your life with a soulmate that
Yeah,
you love?
you can find the right
I
people.
feel like obviously like I want to get married, and obviously like I feel like if I was with a guy
There
who
you
didn't
go.
accept my past, I wouldn't want to be with him.
Not your past, if you're still doing
Yes.
it.
If he
Like, if
he
you
didn't
quit-
accept it, then
So
piss off.
let me ask you a hypothetical. If you met a man and he says, I'm earning $2 million a year, would you quit OnlyFans?
Okay, like that, yes. If they can make as much as I can, then yes, I'll
So you would quit OnlyFans?
But if they're going to say like stop doing it, but they're not doing anything with their life, then no, I'm not going to
Okay,
stop.
so it's just purely financial for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
Would you agree it's just purely financial for you?
literally, yeah.
Okay. Do you think that you have more to offer to the world than your body?
Of course.
Yeah.
Then why don't you do that?
Because I
we,
just chose not to.
yeah.
Because you chose. But I know. But don't you think
I mean,
you're?
we have more to offer, but we also want to be able to travel and explore.
Okay. No. Now we're,
Do you have more to offer to the world is again very like it's just so one-sided. You can offer lots to the world and still be doing this. Like, and also, who's to say, like, let's say they got a regular job and they're working in an office. Why is that worth more? It's not. You know what I was doing when I was working corporate? Doing graphic design. It was so boring for me. I mean, I love graphic design, but to do it for a company, I was so bored every day. It wasn't adding or contributing to the world. Like, it really wasn't. It was basic corporate graphics, like very simple workbook type stuff. It wasn't contributing anything to the world. I wasn't a doctor, and not everyone's going to be a doctor. So, especially with his standards of a woman that needs to be like a stay-at-home mom, those people aren't going to be doctors. So I don't know where he thinks working is going to make such an impact and like can be more worth more than connecting with people online. Like, that can be a really empowering and amazing job because some people need connection. So, I mean, there's more to it than just showing your body online. There's connection through this. There is just so much more than that. And so I find this to just be, again, very one-sided.
Life like young,
everything in life comes with a cost,
of course.
and the cost for you is that your body will now be shared by tens of thousands of
Yeah.
people, not just your soulmate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't you feel a little bit of sadness that you wish that your body would just be sold with your future, shared with your future soulmate?
I did have that mindset, and then like I feel like men actually changed me and turned me into this person. And
Who did? A men?
No, like
Oh.
men in general, like they just turned me into this person. I didn't plan my life going this way. It was literally a 1-minute decision, and I thought I might as well. They all view me the same, so I'll just throw my life in and do it.
Well,
But
This is also really sad. Just the way she's describing it, like, obviously, I do think that there are men that will just, like, see women as this object, and I think that there are a lot of people that do, and why not monetize on it? I do agree with that. Another, to his point where he said, your body will be shared with all these people. Okay, I made this argument in another one of my videos, but let's say someone took a picture of a French fry, and I ate the French fry after. I took the picture of the French fry, I posted it online, I ate the French fry. I was the only person to ever touch that French fry. I made the French fry, I ate the French fry, okay? I took a picture, I put it on the internet. Does that mean everyone touched the damn French fry? I am so confused. It's not shared with the world. The content, the viewing is shared as art or as entertainment, like I said. But the actual French fry is left untouched unless I ate it. So same thing here. Like, you don't know how many people these people have actually touched. And even if they did, that doesn't make them less of a person. There are so many people that go and have intercourse with tons of people, and they're not doing this. Again, not a problem at all, but you can't put this like idea out there that if you do OF that your body is shared with everybody, which if you wanted to, that is totally your choice and it doesn't make you less of a human. But it doesn't make every single person that does OF that their body's shared. Like, what are you talking about?
Like, I feel like men actually changed me and turned me into this person. And
Who did? A men?
No, like men in general. Like, they just turned me into this person. I didn't plan my life going this way. It was literally a 1-minute decision. And I thought, I might as well. They all view me the same, so I'll just throw my life in and do it.
Well,
but I feel like if a man wants to be with me and love me for who I am, then so be it. But if they're going to judge me for what my work is and what I do, then I'm not going to let them in my life.
right. So the judging is a separate issue. I'm just, do you think the type of man you want, I imagine, is one that tells the
There you
truth and that is loyal to you?
Yeah.
That pool of men that you eventually want to have a family with,
Yeah.
do you think they will look fondly upon OnlyFans girls?
I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
genuinely,
I don't know.
I could tell you as a man that we look so lowly on OnlyFans girls, it's the equivalent to digital prostitution.
Yeah.
That's your opinion.
No, it's not. It's
He
it's the
does.
average Western
He
man.
does.
I don't know if it's
Wait,
like.
what is his opinion?
I mean, it's not
And
an opinion.
what does that matter?
It is factual
It's
that
the
the average
oldest job
Western
in the
male
book.
looks at
It's
OnlyFans
the
no
oldest-
different than an escort service delivered digitally.
Well, isn't it just objectively true?
And I'm not
that-
trying to attack either of you. I think you're both victims caught up in this terrible trend. I just want to ask you, have you thought deeply about how this might get you further from your goal, not closer to your goal?
Yeah. Like, I have definitely thought about that.
But
Like, when,
that's-
I first
So
started
ridiculous.
it, I was like...
That's his
this comes with, like,
opinion, that's his
consequences,
view,
though.
that's
so, like, I
certain
obviously
people's
thought
views,
about
and
it
I
was
wouldn't
like,
want
I'm taking...
them in my life
I'm going to
anyway.
do this, and obviously it's going to be harder to find
know
a guy to
why
marry, but
anyone
I'm
would.
taking that risk.
Judgmental
Yeah, I've always thought
people.
about just taking the risk. And I've always been like a risk taker. I don't really care about what anyone else thinks. Like, that's up to you and what you think. But if I think that I can get somewhere by it, then I'm going to do it.
Do you both want children?
Yeah.
Well, I do, but I don't know if I can.
You mean physically or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Not... Like, I know they're trying to defend themselves by saying, you know, it's a risk that they took or whatever. I see it as an opportunity to weed out people that I wouldn't get along with anyways. Like, I would not get along with someone who judged OF girls, even if I wasn't doing it. If they were to judge those girls, that is not a type of person that I like to surround myself with. So I feel like it honestly filters out what I consider low-class people, low life people that just are so consumed by what everyone else is doing and not just worried about their own life and what they choose to want. If you don't want an OF girl as your wife, so be it. That is totally fine. But if you're going to judge other people and other guys that do not mind what their wife decides to do with their own autonomy, then yeah, I don't want those people in my life.
Yeah.
So if you were to have children and you were to go to your first grader's career day and you were to present to a bunch of first graders, how would you describe what you do to a bunch of first graders?
Okay, I'll answer this before she does. I do social media. I'm a content creator. I also don't think that you need to go into a bunch of 12-year-olds and tell them what you do. That can be for certain parents that want to do that. Not every single kid has to do that. And kids don't even need to know what their parents do generally until they get old enough. I would tell my kids, if I had kids, that I do content creation because I do YouTube videos. I'd also tell them that adult work is totally fine for adults. And that's okay. And it's not for kids. And that's that. They're like, as long as you tell your kids that it's okay to, you know, certain things are okay for certain age groups. It's same with like rated R movies. Rated R movies are not okay for children. You teach your kids that and they don't watch them until they're old enough to watch them. So, same thing. I think there's also so many aspects to doing this job that you're not just an OF creator. Like, you're your own marketing team. You could say, oh, I'm in marketing. Like, if you had to go and present to these kids, you could say, I'm in marketing. It's as simple as that. You don't need to go and tell kids what you're doing. You don't tell them how you had them until they're old enough to understand it, right? Right.
Well, I don't think that I'll still be doing OnlyFans when I do have kids. I feel like that's something that I would stop before I did have kids.
Yeah.
Just so, like, it's not like, obviously, like, the internet is always going to be there. But I
The
feel like
internet
it's
is forever, yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like it's something that I would stop before I did have children, kind of thing.
Can I ask approximately? I have no idea. How much money do you earn annually? Is that okay to ask? I'm just curious.
So in the last 6 months, I've earned over $115,000
U.S. dollars or
AUS.
AUS. So what is
Yeah.
that conversion rate? Like 80%?
So
right?
like yeah. So it was
You
like
can buy like a croissant or something with that.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think it's 80,000 American, right? About.
yeah,
Is that correct?
yeah. I think so.
I'm guessing. I don't know.
That's
okay.
in 6 months.
Yeah.
So you're projected to have like over 180,000 by next year. 160.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Did you have more on that?
No,
or-
I just want to make sure everybody watching and you guys all think deeply about that and how men view not just OnlyFans culture, but you all said marriage, and some of you said marriage and kids is the most important thing, but far too often our actions and what we do every day is actually not getting us closer to our stated goal.
Well, you can say that to the subscribers too, who subscribe to their.
Oh, don't- I
and
mean, I think that-
contribute to their pockets, but that's what I mean.
They should be
how
shamed.
can we find
good point
husbands
there.
in our 20s, in our early 20s? I'm not in my early 20s, but how could we find husbands if they're busy subscribing to OnlyFans chicks?
Yeah, well, not every man is. And that's a
Sure.
really good question. So where did all the good men go? I talk about this in my book, actually.
I don't think that makes you less of a man if you're subscribed to this, because whether you are subscribed or not, you are probably watching PH, which is free. So, I mean, what is the difference? Like, you're probably watching this anyway. I also think that a lot of people, especially in religion, it's been shown on all these shows, and clearly we've, things get around, you hear through the grapevine, adults are doing freaky stuff behind the closed doors. So just because you're not subscribed to OF person doesn't mean you're not engaging in adult activities. And that doesn't make you less of a person because you subscribe to adult activities. Like, that is part of being an adult.
The first piece of advice I have for young ladies is do not post suggestive material of yourself online. Men want what they cannot see and cannot have. Mystery is lacking in the West.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this is lost on a lot of young ladies. They say, the more I post of myself on, with a bikini on the beach, the more men will like you. No, I mean, the more they'll want to have sex
attention.
with you,
Yeah.
but then they'll look at you as just a visual or a commodity, not as a future soulmate. And the second
Certain
part
people.
is, to be
Like
perfectly
I
honest
said.
with you, religious men check a lot of the boxes that you guys are looking for. I know that.
No.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, that's why I
Can
feel
you-
like I feel like that's one reason why I was able to find men like that. It's because even though they weren't conservative, they still had very, very deep religious values.
Can you tell me more? That's so interesting.
Mainly Catholic. I'm also Catholic.
Yeah. So, and they believed in the God, right? They wanted to have a family.
Yeah, they didn't necessarily like read the Bible word for word
Of
every
course.
day, but they like followed the Bible.
So, would you say that's, if you're looking to find a man in the West and it's your number one priority, and you were given a random selection
I'm
of a
shocked
Catholic
that is
man
true.
or kind of a femboy atheist, you would take the Catholic?
Yeah, I would.
Would you?
The Catholic, yes. I think femboy atheist is
Fem-
so
So,
funny.
how many of you are
Oh
then?
my god, okay. This is a crazy conversation. A femboy atheist? What makes that person less of a person? Like, what makes that person less of, like, marriage material? I don't see how that's relevant at all. I would absolutely choose the femboy, what was it? Femboy atheist? Because what does that matter? Again, I feel like they choose specific people for this podcast. I don't think they would ever choose someone like me because their arguments are totally just irrelevant to me. Talking about religion, I'm not religious, so this just goes in one ear, out the other. It just doesn't, it's not a relevant discussion for me, just because I don't think just because you're religious makes you a better or worse person at all. So it really depends on how you act on your beliefs rather than your beliefs specifically. Okay.
Going to church actively trying to find a man?
I mean, I don't need to.
I also
Well, I know, but
I didn't meet any of my boyfriends
Okay,
in church,
fair enough.
and I feel like I wouldn't have, if I'm gonna be honest. I feel like you can meet a really religious man outside of church.
Fair enough, yeah.
You just have to find where you guys both coincide, and yeah, like at the library, studying for your exams, for example.
I actually recommend to my single friends to find men in the church because
I agree.
usually stand-up guys, typically.
That's
Yeah, and I mean,
insane.
there's exceptions to every rule. And so my advice to my 2 Australian friends is that if you want the
My last comment about that and the femboy thing, I find that a lot of religious men, the ones I've seen, I don't know why he said femboy thing, femboy atheist. A lot of the religious men I've met, given femboy, extremely feminine. So that was interesting.
thing
Okay.
that is the most important thing to you, start making those decisions younger than older, because you might end up be filled with a lot of money and a lot of regret.
That was so ridiculous. Okay. So, I'm glad I watched that. I feel like they chose very specific creators for that, and no hate or shame to anyone. You know, like I said, I love open discussion. I think that's really important. But I also think that a lot of the points were just not discussed in a way that I felt like really had our backs as creators. And the girls tried, I think, but I think if there was someone with really strong opposing opinions, I think a lot of these girls had the same opinion and had the same thoughts and feelings, which is fine, but I think there needed to be someone that was extremely on the other side, that can vouch for us, that can say, you know, that's why I wanted to speak on this. There was just such an imbalance here where I felt like the women didn't get to speak fully. A few of them didn't say anything at all besides, you know, answering the first question. So I don't know if they were told to be so quiet or something, but I just feel like I wanted to share my points on this. Like I said, I love the open discussion. I think that's important, but I think when it's obviously kind of edited, or certain people are suppressed from saying things, or, you know, everyone's carefully selected but they have all the same opinions and views, it makes it hard to have a real discussion. Again, my thoughts and prayers to Charlie's family. I feel really sad for his kids. Again, I don't agree with anything this man says, though. I don't agree with anything that I've seen him say. I've watched a lot of videos in the last 24 hours, and I think he spreads a lot of hate and so much more. I can't even go into it, but overall, I do send my, you know, best wishes and love to his children. Well, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on all the topics that were discussed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.